What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers have the 55th pick in the upcoming draft. And the question is should the Lakers go and look to buy another pick, right? Now, you could take the 55th pick and add a little money and maybe move up, or you could just keep the 55th pick and just buy a pick outright in the second round. Now, I know some people are going to be like, why don't we buy a pick in the first round? It's because teams don't really do that, one, and two, the money for that. I mean, a second round pick goes for, anywhere from like 2 to sometimes 4 million, right? Like usually you're paying a couple million to do that. There's also a cap, based on certain teams and where they're at. So also you got to keep in mind, buying a pick would hard cap the Lakers at the second apron. I don't really, not too worried about it. I think the Lakers are going to make sure they're under the second apron regardless, but there are some restrictions with the new CBA that I think the Lakers will be able to avoid regardless. Now, they can go send money out. I believe for first apron teams, it's like a little over 7 million in total that you can send out. So the Lakers could theoretically go and buy a second round pick. Again, don't really see them being able to buy a first round pick. Now, ideally, personally, I would keep the 55th pick and then again try to go buy a second round pick. Obviously as high as you can get, but even if it is, the 50th pick or something like that, because obviously you got to keep in mind, the later the pick is, the cheaper it'll be to buy it. But if you can find a team that's just like, hey, we don't need 5 picks in this draft, let's go. There's several teams that have multiple seconds, that have multiple picks in this draft period, right? I mean, a team like the San Antonio Spurs that I mentioned in trying to trade for a first round pick, San Antonio has some second round picks as well. So, they're a team that they might look at it as like, one, not only do we want to trade the 14th pick, but we also want to get off of some of these second round picks because we don't want 5 new players coming in that we have to now figure out and work out, where that could be very beneficial to the Lakers, especially in a draft that is looked at as very deep. Even in the second round, this draft is looked at as like, hey, there are players that could be these gems. Lakers have also done a very good job of getting role guys, particularly in the second round. I mean, look at the playoffs. Even this late in the playoffs, we're getting into the conference finals, and a lot of these guys were former Lakers, whether they're first or second round picks. Lakers haven't done a great job of getting like superstars in the draft, right? Like they missed out on Tatum and Brown and stuff like that. But you look at role guys from Julius Randle, which is all-star level guy, Brandon Ingram, all-star level guy, but you got like Julius Randle, Josh Hart, right? Larry Nance Jr. has been a great journeyman. Ivica Zubac, right? Like you got a lot of guys, Alex Caruso, right? These are all guys that the Lakers have had, and the list goes on and on. Even Mo Wagner and guys like that, right? Like Lakers have done a really good job of just finding those gems in the draft, particularly undrafted second round picks. So I trust the Lakers to find those guys. Right? I trust them to find a guy with the 55th pick, and I trust them to find a guy, if they were to go and get the 45th pick in the draft or something like that, right? Now, obviously, there's got to be somebody there that the Lakers like and make sense. There's got to be somebody there where the Lakers go like, okay, this is a guy that can help us now, maybe the future, or just like a quality development guy that you really like that, is on the board. You don't want to just buy and give money away just to buy and give money away. But the Lakers need upside and youthful players, period, right? They need, like, one of the things that the Lakers want badly is to build a development program, right? Well, you need guys to develop. And yes, obviously, like, even veterans need development. Like, Austin Reeves is still developing and growing and getting better. Rui Hachimura, like, all these guys. There are multiple guys that are still growing and getting better. Even LeBron can continue to grow and get better. But you need young talent. You need the Bronny James, the Dalton Connects, like those kind of guys that you can kind of use in your farm system to grow and develop, right? To kind of usher in and be the next wave, right? Because at some point, Rui's going to be off team and Reeves is going to be out, and all these guys are going to be off team. Well, you need those guys that can come in, play a role, whether it's a starting role or a rotation piece or whatever. Just like, the 8th guy off the bench. You need those guys. You need those young guys with upside and potential, right? And the other thing that the Lakers really need is they just need young, cheap depth, right? Like, Lakers are very limited as far as cap space goes. I mean, LeBron James could retire and the Lakers would still only have, I think it's like 16, 17 million, right? So like they don't have a ton of cap space in order to do what they need to do to go really kind of like revamp this roster with a bunch of key free agents and all that stuff, right? Like, yes, it'd be great if they could get one or two or three guys, whatever, right? So you'll have like Alex Lynn falling off. You'll have Jackson Hayes falling off. Shake Milton's on a non-guaranteed contract, right? You might be able to make a trade this offseason that, frees up a guy or whatever. And now you're bringing in, especially if you get a more higher end guy, probably giving up two or three players in order to make that work, right? There's already talks about Bronny James potentially being part of the rotation if he continues to take strides and grow the way that we saw towards the back end of the season last year. Well, you could use other guys like that, right? Dalton Knecht, can he continue to grow and develop and be, better defensively? Not great, not elite, not just like, can he just be good? Can he just be serviceable? Can he not just, give you a 15, but giving up 30, right? Like, can he be a guy that can hold his own on the defensive side of things while also being the offensive weapon that we see that he can be, right? Bronny James, ideally, could be an excellent point of attack, right? Two-way style 3-and-D guard for us. I've talked about it. Can Bronny James just be, a more athletic Gabe Vincent? That'd be great, right? Give us some youth, give us some athleticism, give us some point of attack defense, right? Knock down the open three. That would be great, right? Well, can you find those guys in this draft, right? Can you find a guy or two, particularly 3-and-D wings? I'd really like kind of two-way athletic wings, right? Obviously, there's some centers that could be in the mix for the Lakers. I'm not against going and getting a center, right? A development center, but I like, my fear is the Lakers go and draft, somebody, a Rogo or somebody like that, and then like, that's it. They're like, okay, well, we got our center, right? Like, I want the Lakers to get a more veteran center. And I just think the 3-and-D wing part, you can never have too many of those. You can never have an abundance of those kind of guys, especially if you can get guys in like the 6'7" to 6'9" range that are just long, lengthy, versatile. Like, obviously, coming in, they're probably not going to be excellent shooters, but, can they continue to progress over the season? But more than anything, can they have an impact defense, rebounding, hustle plays, dirty work, right? Because over an 82-game season, you need guys like that. Over an 82-game season, you need young athletes that can just, handle the workload, go out there. I'm not saying you have to play them 40 minutes a night, but like, hey, you draft a guy and it's like, hey, this guy, is 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan that can defend 1 through 5, right? And he can just, at worst case, he's just a defensive piece that has some athleticism, can be a lob threat, right? Maybe knock down the occasional 3, right? If you can get somebody like that in the draft, maybe a little older, that's, 22 range. Lakers really love to kind of get those older college players, like guys that have kind of the maturity and understanding of the game better. They've kind of gotten a little more seasoning over, their college careers, that now they can kind of come in and make an immediate impact, have an immediate role. Like a Blake Henson, if he could knock down the 3 to the level in which we saw Blake Henson be able to do, but also be able to defend, better, right? Same thing with like a Dalton Knecht, right? Like, if you can get a guy that can do those things, I don't expect any, particularly a second round pick. I don't expect any second round picks to come in and immediately be like studs, right? Like, where it's like, oh, this guy needs to start. Like, I'm not expecting anything like that. But if he could be our 8th, 9th, 10th guy off the bench, where it's like, he's probably not going to play in the postseason outside of like spot minutes, but he's a guy that definitely could play, 15 minutes a night on average during the course of a regular season, right? He's a guy that can come in, slot in, and play a role on a nightly basis, for the Lakers, and just kind of take pressure off other guys. Guys have a night off. It's like, hey, tonight you're getting the start, or you're getting 30 minutes, right? Look at a guy like Max Christie, right? Max Christie was a guy that showed and had an impact here and there on occasion. He just never got the opportunity because of Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham never really played him. Right? It was just kind of in spots, or it was inconsistent. It was like one night he's starting and playing 30 minutes, and then he has like 5 DMPs in a row, and then it's like, okay, now you're going to play 3 minutes, or you're playing garbage time, or you're doing this, and it's like, how is he ever supposed to find some consistency and find some stride, right? Like, and then you get into year 2, and it was like the same thing. Well, JJ Redick goes, he starts playing him, and look, he ends up becoming this guy, and then he goes to Dallas, and he becomes even better because he gets even more opportunity and more playing time, and we're all like, man, we should have kept him, right? Like, which I was super high on Max Christie. He was the guy that I was like, I don't want to get rid of. But unfortunately, it is what it is, right? They got rid of him. Well, if you can find your next Max Christie, which is a possibility, right? If you can find that next guy, find a guy that's 6'6", that can slot and play the 2, play the 3 on occasion, knock down the 3 ball with some consistency, but more than anything, just play some defense. Beautiful, right? That's all you need. Can the Lakers find another Max Christie in the draft, right? Go buy a pick, go get, whatever, the 35th pick in the draft, right? Go get a two-way wing that can play 2 through 4 for you or something like that, or the 2 and the 3 for you. That would be great. And then with the 55th pick, maybe go take one of these centers, right? Unless there's a center that you like more. Like if there's a guy you're like, oh man, I really love this guy at whatever, 30. All right, let's go get him, and then we can take a 3-and-D wing with the 55th pick. And then obviously you're going to get some undrafted guys that are going to come in, and you're going to, get some new, we're probably going to see some new two-way guys and whatnot. But point is I definitely think it's something that the Lakers should look at, right? Look at buying a pick, see if you can bring in a pick, bring in another young guy, because you need the young, youthful talent. You need the development guys. You need all those things. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Disagree? Kind of mixed in the middle? Do you think that they should buy a second-round pick? However you feel, down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.